American Cornhole Organization. Yeah, it's a real thing since 2005. Find out how to play, where to play, and compete nationwide. Scan now to join the ACO family at AmericanCornhole.com. The ACO. We are Cornhole.
Around here, light can bring out the best in you. It can make you believe you'll find the buried treasure. Tempt you to bet on yourself. Convince you there's room for one more bite. And beg you to stay out way past your bedtime. Don't say we didn't warn you. Come find your island, Prince Edward Island.
Hi, I'm Rich Pyle, the host of Hole Nation, where we share everything this cornhole and a lot more. Follow us on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and catch our new videos every Wednesday at 7. And remember, whether it's sticky or slick side down, bring it.
And action. What do you say, Holeheads? Welcome to Taco Tuesday. Finn, the loudmouth for the ACO, side by side with Frank Geers, the Cornhole Dude. I hope you find yourself in a nice, comfortable place with a nice cold beverage and ready to do things just a little bit different. Oh, beer for humans. That's
beer
pretty
for
good.
Humans, man. This is new to me, baby.
Ryan, guys.
But it still makes the same sound.
Yeah. That means it's Taco Tuesday officially. It's like a taco like you've never seen before. Stick with us. We'll tell you what that means. And if you happen to see last week, we had for reasons beyond our control, we couldn't run an episode last week, but someone did kind of nose their way into the announcement of that. You'll probably recognize that nose here in just a moment. But we're going to start out very quickly with a couple of things. First off, congratulations go out to a handful of ACO family members. How about Neil and Haley Sullivan? Neil and Haley Sullivan over the weekend, Vegas, baby.
You know what? I actually commented on one of their photos, and they looked like they had the most amazing tacos at some place. I got to be honest with you.
That's why we listed you first.
Haley will know this because she commented back, and she's like, Frank, they were amazing. So,
is that right?
Congratulations.
And that's coming from a master chef right there, too, so they must have been good. So Neil and Haley, congratulations. And how about this? And this one, I want to say thank you. Specifically to Seth Turner. Congratulations on marrying Kelsey Heitert. And the reason that I want to say thank you is because Kelsey Turner is going to be so much more convenient for Phil than Heitert. So Seth and Kelsey Turner, congratulations on your nuptials this past week as well. And if you missed the big announcement, there is a bun in the Hurt oven. How about it? Caleb and Adrian, congratulations. We saw the first picture that you showed of the sonogram. Congratulations. One on the way. And you have a very limited time before that baby starts kicking your ass up and down the court. So
what are we thinking, 7 years?
No, if that. You've seen some of these videos that we have from some of the majors. This kid's 3 or 4 years old getting out there and doing it. And this one is genetically predisposed.
Imagine Hurt growing up from day one playing this game.
I think you guys need to take a very, very specific documentary video of this from the moment of birth to the moment of king or queen of cornhole. And whether maybe they'll be in double digits in age by the time they get there. Who knows? But anyway, congratulations, all members of the ACO family. If you are celebrating something else like that, a wedding that we missed or didn't see on Facebook, let us know because we definitely want to give a little bit of love to you for that. This is the Taco Roundtable Going Mobile show. And the reason that we call it the Roundtable is just because we have a round table. But we're going to be bringing in other faces and some that you know and maybe one that you don't know to talk a little bit about Player of the Season coming up. But first things first, we have to get to a couple of matters of business, and that was Mobile, Alabama. We're going to go over the results here in just a moment. Also, we have time to fill picks for Chi-Town. And in Chicago, the SoFi is, from what I understand, a very cool place to play. Not the easiest place to load into or out of, Barry Hempy, but a great place to play. So that's this weekend. I know Maz is going to be up there. He said he's going to be playing. So, and I think he and
Hoppy, maybe?
Hoppy, I was going to say he and Hoppy might still be gunning for Top Gun 20. I'm not sure, but
I'm seeing Hoppy's name pop up all over the place.
yeah, and you know what? And vibes out to you, Isaac. I know I haven't lost your dad this past week. Some positive vibes out into the universe for you guys. You can begin celebrating him as soon as you are able to process what you're going through right now. So God bless and hang in there, brother. The other thing that we want to do is we want to show you a shot of the week, thanks to Whole Nation. That comes from, which one did that come from? Is that from Dallas? Dallas, yeah, that's going to be from Dallas. So we'll have Phil's picks for Chi-Town. We'll have the shot of the week prior to that. And then while Phil's picks are going on, we're going to reset. So we want you to stick around because that's when the discussion that we want you to be a part of will begin with regard to some player of the season discussion and so on and so forth. So let's get straight to it. Let's talk about winners in Mobile. And this was a who's who of players as well. Congratulations again to, and we say again, not because we've congratulated her before in this episode, but because she's racking up wins in women's time and time again. Kim Jackson, congratulations. Martina Belt in second. Kennedy Meineke in third. Nicely done in the women's division. Very well represented. I saw Josefina Ernstberger and the Craig crew was on their way to Mobile, so I saw some photos of them on the way there.
That was a good shot
from
the Mobile.
And
they were in the Mobile, right?
And so on their way to Mobile. Seniors, this one, I love this one. The only new purple jersey, but James McPhail, ironically, wins the seniors. Nicely done, James. Congratulations.
I played him. He's actually good.
That's awesome. Fergie came in second, and your man Hollywood Page takes third. Chase Hollis takes juniors. Congratulations there over Lonnie Campos. You'll hear that name come up again here in a moment. And Bryce Jefferson rolls in to show. Since this was Derby week, we'll say win, place, and show. How about that? In the winning column for co-ed doubles, Karsten Morris and Kim Jackson. Congratulations over Chris Day and Stacy Van Gilder. And then Russell Tabers and Martina Belt, a team's name that's always showing up in that top upper echelon of co-ed doubles. Congratulations. In the quads, it was Ruthless Bags over OTT. This time, Douglas Parker got paired up with Chase Hollis in the blind draw. That doesn't seem fair to anybody.
That's really not a fair team.
Well, although they had to beat James Hill and Kim Jackson to take the blind draw, Wes Carroll and Matthew Davis come in third place. And we had the ACO Adaptive Division. And you're not going to believe this, but Batman and Wheels took first place in the Adaptive Division. As we work our way toward the Adaptive Division at the World Championships, congratulations to you guys. In World Doubles, in doubles tier 2, it was Nicole Jones and Jeremy Bruce Jones take first place. Jacob Mosley and James McNally. In tier 3, tier 4 conquered by Riley Ernest and Logan Ogden. And tier 5, Kendall Markham and Sherry Frost. Congratulations to you guys for tier championships there. And this was a big win in doubles because it maxed them out, if I'm not mistaken. And that's going to come in handy here when we discuss player of the season here in just a few minutes. But Caleb Rogers and Riley Brewster fought gallantly, but they succumbed to Colby Baskins and to Zach Dawson. So congratulations to you guys for maxing out in doubles. Well done. In singles, tier 2, it was Landon Carnley capturing the hardwood there. It was winning Aiden Ward in tier 3. In tier 4, Kyler Baldridge took out Logan Baldridge. That's had to be a uncomfortable
That's a
ride
good
home
match.
in tier 4. And in tier 5, Charlie Harrington. And I saw the photo that I think Margaret sent, and she said his only comment was, "This means more to me than anything." He goes, "It's not about the money. This means more to me than anything."
That was really cool.
Yeah,
to
it
say,
was. And
man.
we even
That was-
included that on the winner's post on Monday. And
Yep.
he did. And he commented. He said, "It absolutely does." And that is awesome. But look at this murderer's row that was in World Singles. Scotty Ball and Kendall Cox tied for 7th. Dustin Arant, whose name is going to be coming up here again, giving credit where credit is due, tied with Lane Cruz for 5th. Douglas Parker, 4th. So that tells you what must have been going on in the top 3. How about Parker Burgett? He has another stellar week in singles. He comes in 3rd. Chris Day battles Lonnie Campos, who I told you you'd be hearing about again here for the singles championship. Lonnie comes out on top. Congratulations, brother. Not his first purple jersey, but he's going to be able to add a medallion to that end-of-season jersey. So that was a very strong field. And thanks again to our crew. Chris Clark was running point on that crew, so you know it ran like clockwork. Margaret Barrett, Sean Priest, Craig and Ashley Irvin, and Russell Tabers, of course, all there for the fun. So we appreciate the entire mobile crew.
Absolutely, man. I got to say something to Mr. Craig Irvin because I think he's catapulted me on more majors this season to attend than myself. So it's the first time that I think I'm going to lose the title of the man or woman that has been to the most majors in a season. Craig Irvin, hats off, baby.
How about that? Well, he pulled me aside. He goes, "That's my goal." He goes, to go to more majors than Frank. He did tell me that, and he told me that about 3 months ago.
Did he?
So he was bound and determined to do just that.
So I think he claimed it.
Yeah, so we do have just a couple majors left. As I mentioned, SO5 in Chicago this weekend. Then we skip a week, and then it's Margaritaville. It's all about getting down further south into the warmer weather. Camp Margaritaville, May 23rd and 24th, and then we wrap things up with a Pro Series in Branson, Missouri, as we do every season. So looking forward to that. Don't forget you got the Punta Gorda Festival, the Gulf Coast Classic coming up that 3 days in later in June. June 25th through the 29th, in that window right there. And then it's off to in August to Des Moines, Iowa, the National Senior Games. You saw a promo for that as well.
Well, before the Senior Games, we got the World Championships. Right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was going to get to that. There was a little thing in between.
And before that, we have a bunch of state championships as well in the month of June.
And that's something I know that, and the reason I was waiting to mention the World Championships is because 2 weeks from tonight, the entire episode is going to be about releasing the world's schedule. So there are some tweaks and some different things that have been done in there. The competition, the welcoming is Monday. There's going to be some stuff previously on the weekend prior, but Tuesday through Saturday is going to be the main competition, but there's some cool tweaks that are happening to the schedule. So 2 weeks from tonight, mark your calendars, be here for World Championships of Cornhole with the ACO. That discussion will be happening right here. And we're going to hopefully be able to bring in Phil live on that one as well. So even if it's worth it just for that, to come in and bring him and put him on the spot live from a place where he can't reach me.
Where do you think he's going to be broadcasting from when he is live with us? I mean, he's been at a lot. He's broadcast a lot.
From where? Or
from where? I mean, he's had Phil's picks from a lot of different.
Well, he's been out in front of water. He's been out, I think, in front of a golf course. He's been at some regionals. He's been in his car running point for bank robberies. He's been down in his basement being held hostage.
Inside, outside?
He's
what are you feeling?
I think he'll probably go inside. Not from the car, though. It's a little bit weird because it does feel bank robberish. So anyway, we'll have Phil on with us here in a couple of weeks to talk about the world schedule and get excited for that. And as you mentioned, state championships. That's going to be big.
Yeah. Well, Finn, I think we add that to one of our shows coming up. Maybe after Margaritaville, we'll talk about all the state championships that are out there, from Alabama to Kentucky to Tennessee to Ohio.
Absolutely. And what's cool is all season long we've been seeing outstanding shots, and so many of them have been highlighted by Whole Nation. Rich and Tracy. Rich, again, hopefully all is going well with him. He had that kind of a big fender bender, but I think he'll be fine in time to join you guys.
I think he's all right
in a week or so. He's got that Speedo ready to go, so he'll be just fine. But they have been collecting and highlighting shots of the week, and Dallas provided a great one, and he's going to share it with you right now. Stick around. After that, we're going to talk a little bit about Phil's picks, and then we'll be back for talk about Player of the Season.
Thanks, Finn and Frank. Welcome to this segment brought to you by Whole Nation. I'm your host, Rich Pyle. I'm going to show you a cornhole shot from a recent tournament. A pivotal shot. A game-changing shot. A shot you don't get to see every day. Check out this Shot of the Week. A big thanks to Big D Bags for bringing us this Shot of the Week from the ACO Dallas Major, where Kanan Culverson faces off against Grant Upchurch in the singles championship match. The score is Kanan 20 to Grant 14, and the board is cluttered with all kinds of laundry. With the perfect amount of spin and just enough speed, Kanan throws this incredible cut/roll bag from the far side of the board around all the bags on the board and drops it in the far back side of the hole to take the win in his first game in his double dip championship. Great shot, Kanan. Thanks for watching this week's Shot of the Week. Now let's turn it back over to the Taco Show with Frank and Finn at the ACO World Headquarters. Frank, Finn?
Thank you, Frank's. Thank you, Frank's best friend. Appreciate that. Well, talk about threading the needle, and you got to love that. And thanks again to AJ's for the hospitality. What a great facility there. And thanks to Jonathan Zarzinski and the whole Big D crew as well. Looking forward to continuing to expand our presence in Texas and West as we move further west. All of this completely in service this year to the World Championships in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Going to be big, big fun. But we've got to get there first, and we have to go. The road to the Worlds continues still to go through a couple of other cities, a couple of other majors, one of which is this weekend in Chicago, the Windy City, as we're winding down majors. SoFi is the place. Who's going to win these divisions? I don't know. He doesn't know. One guy does know, and that's the reason we call in the Mississippi Ninja with a little something we like to call Time to Fill. Stick around afterward.
Welcome to another episode of Time to Fill. What a beautiful day here in North Mississippi, and I want to wish my grandson, Tucker Smith, a very happy birthday today, Tuesday. Now, let's get on my picks for Chicago. Let's go with Maggie Geiger to take down the women's. In juniors, I'm going with Sammy Van Sickle to take this down. In seniors, Steve Heath, but watch out for Johnny Thomas and Bob Howe here. In co-ed, I'm going with Kennedy Meineke teaming up with Sammy Van Sickle. I think they both like the same bags. I think they take this down. Watch out for Maggie and Wayne here. In doubles, I got to go with the team of Chris Day and Larry Young in this. In singles, I'm going with Drew Waking, but watch out for Chris Day. And that's going to be my picks this week for Time to Fill. If you think I should pick you, prove me wrong. Perfect.
That's right before he started swinging for the fences right there. Thanks, Phil. Looking forward to having him on live with us on Tuesday. And Frank disappeared. I did a little magic trick, and I conjured up somebody who made himself appear last week in our promo. What happened? Did your
You're full of shit. It didn't come on. Are we on? You're not. You're full of shit.
No,
You're just...
We're literally
I love it, man. There was somebody knocking on the door then.
Was there?
Yeah, there was.
There was a person knocking on the door.
Yeah. Did you guys not hear that?
Autographs?
Oh,
They're
that's
getting
weird.
autographs.
That's weird. You guys didn't hear
I think
that.
I know who it was. It was knocking on the door.
Yeah.
And that's why he was late getting
Exactly.
back. Hey, bottom line is Finn, the Cornhole Dude, and our boy Michael. Now, do you use your stage name?
No, I'm just Michael. I'm Michael.
Just Michael. Okay.
Just
now, we have one other person to add to the lineup, and we need to call him over here. In fact, this is
Let me
important.
prep for
This
him.
is such a big
This is a big
discussion
deal. This is a big deal.
that I am closing my laptop.
This is
and we're going
actually
to work
pretty
off
cool.
of this stuff.
We're pulling back the curtain a little bit here.
Old school paper, right on. Hey, how about Eric Heineman?
Heineman in the house,
We're bringing it all in. Everybody bring them up. Heineman, say hello. Raise them up. Yo. Let's do it right. And action. There we go. All good. Now I'm two-fisted here. Very good. We're going to talk a little, and we literally want to roundtable this because it's getting down to it. The last chance to grab points in regionals, last chance to maybe grab some major points, find out who's going to max out. Player of the season is a big deal, and we've had a lot of playoffs, have we not, at World Championships for player of the season. There have been some great ones. You two have seen them all. And you've seen runaway victories, but now it just seems to get tighter and tighter every year.
We've seen them all, and it's been like some of our best viewed things that we've done all week long. I mean, all the way back from I remember like Alabama, man, Montgomery. It was huge. That was a huge playoff.
Yep.
We've had it. Yeah, the playoffs have been some of the most popular streams that we've done from the Worlds for sure.
Well, it just occurred to me I need to open this back up because I want to see
answer some questions, man.
comments.
Make sure
I
you're
wanna
coming out here. But
see some comments. Yeah, and I want to make sure you understand why Michael is sitting here because we thought we have our list. And we know the names. We know the games. What's funny is if maybe you met Michael at Owensboro, but he is the guy that makes the barrelhead trophies for us. So, correct me if I'm wrong, you look down this list, you go, yeah, I know a ton of those
Most
names.
of these names have stressed me out a lot. Plus, I thought this was a fantasy football draft until I got here.
Well,
they sent me an Excel spreadsheet. They said, look over the player stats. That's what I thought it was.
you thought it was fantasy football. Well, maybe it could become a little fantasy cornhole as we get down to it. But the bottom line is we're getting down into crunch time. And I thought about originally having you kind of lead this discussion from a position of relative ignorance. And I say that with all due respect. Only to go down the list and talk a little bit about these names that are at the top of these divisions. Because, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, which I usually am, this some of these are locked, some can't be caught. So let's begin where you want to begin. What you throw out a division and let's.
Okay, so here's the thing. I know little to nothing about
then
the
we're
players.
even.
About the players.
Oh, no.
Other than their names, but I know that one person stands out to me. I've heard stories, and it's Isaac Hurt.
Right.
I've heard stories about how Isaac is just like, what do you want to call him? I would say the Michael Jordan of cornhole.
Well, he wouldn't even know who that is. He's too
I
young.
would say LeBron James, the LeBron
Yeah.
James of cornhole. That's fine. I can go there.
He doesn't flop that much.
He does not.
He does not flop that much. But
He'd probably pick Curry.
It's fine. It's fine.
Steph Curry,
Curry, I'd go with Curry. Yeah, I'd go
Curry's
with
really
Curry.
good at shots and
shot
I
maker.
heard Isaac is obviously
So
pretty
we-
accurate with his bag throwing.
Yeah, we were talking about Isaac a little while ago, and these two actually got to see it live on center court, right? Like, how many bags did he throw?
95 of 96.
Is that right?
I remember.
Yeah.
At
That was
the
a stat that was shared at our
World Championships. Was that
at our
last year or was that
pre-production
the year
meeting, which
before?
was just
What-
at the bar.
Yeah.
what year was that?
Well, I mean, it was last year, and it was the World Championships this past year. And I can say that, without a doubt, I've had front row to
Absolutely.
like every World Championships that there's been, and I have seen great performances, and we've had great champions in the past, and we know them. We know the Mac guys of the world, and we've seen just these fantastic performances. We've seen Mac guy come back from 2 matches that he could have never won. Gary Lewis, and then James Baldwin, and we have this history. There's no way around it. But on center court, I've never seen anyone
That go
shoot
down.
as well under pressure as Isaac Hurt
I can't
did
believe he
last year.
missed one.
No, I mean those back-to-back matches.
What a loser.
I mean, and the great thing was, Bryce Jefferson shot great.
Yeah, he
last
had a
year.
great game.
He shot great
Yeah.
and got blanked in the juniors championship. There's nothing you can do. I mean, when you don't miss, and bags are in his way, but he's still not missing. I've never seen anything like it. So he's got the natural throw. Something tells me that when he picked up a bag the first time, it looks exactly like his throw does right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's
Probably
a lot,
went in the hole the first
Yeah, there's a
time.
lot to that. There's people like the rest of us and that maybe dial it in and try to analyze every little thing, keep your head down, blah blah blah. But he just picks up the bag, and then so he just has that stamina where
He's
he can
the
do
kind
it
of guy
all
that
day
makes you
long.
sick. He's so
It's
good, right?
ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, and he can be inventive. He can be powerful. He can be down 16-0 and then just decide he's going to.
Has he ever been down 16-0?
Oh, I've seen him down
Yeah,
like
and,
that.
and
Yeah.
it's almost like he's a cat playing with a mouse. He just likes to tease that little
Give-
mouse that
make-
they
make
got a
you think
chance
you
to
got a
get away.
chance.
And you were just telling me about that the other day, and maybe even Isaac talked about it, a game that he played, and he was like down 16-2 or something like that, and boom, then he decides to turn it on, and the game finishes 21-16. And back to, I just want to say,
Well, I mean, he loses games too. I mean, he loses
no,
games.
he can lose. He can lose. I'm just, but what I'm saying is, that's. But what I was going to ask you is that 95 of 96, I think we said, right?
Mm-hmm.
The important thing to realize there, it wasn't just that he was sliding him in the hole. You said it a minute ago. There, every shot, it was a roll bag, it was an airmail, it was a push shot. It was multitude of shots. It wasn't just 96, boom, 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 sliding into the hole. That's what I think is most impressive. But
Right.
but anyway.
And as we continue to discuss and we go over things with Michael, feel free to join in the conversation in the comments, things, because here's the thing. Drew Waking and Dustin Arant and Caleb are, right behind him. Now, the question is, can they catch? Do they have enough time? Do they have enough points still to get to max out to have a playoff for singles, or is he going to take it hands down?
Here's the thing. There's more than 3 or 4 people that. But right now, for player of the season, I think you've got Drew. I hope that all 3 of them catch him, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to happen. I mean,
these all three
they
just need
all
a
they
win.
all right now. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Finn, each one of those, Drew Wyking, Dustin Arant, and Caleb Hurt, all have 3 majors under their belt. I think that Drew and Dustin only need to win one more major, and then they're tied with Isaac for player of the season, right? Which would be amazing. I hope we see 3 of them at least playing for the title at the Worlds in Tulsa.
For that player of the season. And again, we go back to the fact that you've had to put so many of these names that we're talking about on trophies and on road dog
Yes,
trophies
yes.
and everything else. Any other ones jump out to you that you see in the
Something that's
singles?
sticking out to me is I'm looking at your season PPR. here? Like this is the points per round, correct?
Yeah.
Yep.
I see one down here that's super impressive. Is Joshua Holland 9.95?
Yeah.
That's I think that's the highest right there on that.
That's
Pretty crazy.
In June, when we come back around, start to talk about that for the world title, man.
Right, that's crazy.
So the reason he might be down there is he hasn't been able to play in as many majors.
Exactly, he hasn't been to the events, correct?
Right now, we're just talking about player of the season. So when we get into that dialogue, it's going to get a little bit deeper because there's a lot of boys from Texas that aren't even showing up in the top 20
and that's
right
I
now.
think that's the thing. That's one of the things we're going to be talking about too, because this year's player of the season may look a lot different than next year's player of the season based on what we've seen, like you said, coming out of Texas. I mean, and Josh plays with LaBelle out of Scooters. So I'm sure we'll be hearing more about him, whether we want to or not, from LaBelle.
Oh, he's with LaBelle?
Yeah.
So we got a comment from Jeremy Jones. He's asking why not Kim Jackson for Player of the Year. Right now, what we're talking about is singles.
Singles, yeah.
So when we get over to women's, Kim Jackson is there. Kim Jackson right now is showing up.
Now,
she's not in the top 20 right now for Player of the Season in singles.
Well, let's move to women's then, because the aforementioned Kelsey Turner. Now, does Kelsey Turner has no points?
But Kelsey
Heitert
has points.
Scratch. You think that's a
Jeremy
scratch?
Jones, we're moving on to women's for you.
Yeah, we'll do that. So she's maxed out. Kim Dice is maxed out. And Kennedy Meineke.
This is the fun one.
Maxed out.
Right
This
now.
one is already set for a 3-player playoff. And Machine Gun Maggie Geiger, does she still have the time to catch up? When she shows up, she walks away with a win. Does she have time?
She murders him.
Can she do it?
I have carved Josephina Ernsberger's name into so many pieces
Oh, Josephina.
so many pieces of wood.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, she's
Good
sitting
one.
at 914 against a
She
max
is.
out
She's
of
doing all right,
920.
yes.
She's had herself a hell of a season, a hell of a last couple of years. But right now we're looking at a three-person playoff.
I think it's, for me, Finn, I'm looking at it thinking that it's going to be a 3-person race right now. Number one is these other women would have to show up at these remaining few majors and win them, really to be in the discussion for right now. We're talking about player of the year, player of the season.
All right, so what about
We're not
Maggie in
talking-
Chicago?
So, well, she may win that one, but she'd have to then come down to Margaritaville and maybe
Margaritaville.
Branson. So,
Okay.
so we'll see. So, when it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun when we get in June and we start to talk about who's going to win the world title in women's. That's when it's going to get interesting because you look down this list and there's a lot of them that we can start jabbing about.
Yeah, and I think Kim just checked in and said McKenna Kopp needs 3 more regionals and then she's maxed out. So that could still happen.
That can still happen. I love it. Somebody's chiming in. I love it.
Yeah, that's. I think that's Kim.
Josephina
so, trust
needs
me,
one
she
more
knows
major.
exactly who's in the rearview mirror.
No, Kim is chiming in too. Josephina only needs one more major.
No, she did both of those comments.
I know. That's what I love.
So yeah, so she knows exactly who's in that rearview mirror. So are we going out into this 3-person playoff right there? Are we going into who's it going to be, or are we waiting?
Well, wait. Here's what I want to ask, because Eric's going to know even exactly how this works. But what I want the people to know and us to know here at the roundtable is the playoffs. How does the playoff for player of the season work?
The playoffs work if you have 2 players that are tied for first place. And generally, when you become tied for first place, it generally means you maxed out on points. That generally means that you got all your max points in regionals, so 8 first place regionals and 4 first places in majors. So that's generally what it takes to be tied for first place. Now, it's not always the case. Sometimes it is. If you have 2 players that are tied for first place, then it's just the best 2 out of 3 match at the World Championships. If you have more than 2, then you go into a double elimination tournament. It is seeded based on their PPR, even though they're all ranked the same for that double elimination tournament. So you get one person as a bye, and then your winners bracket game, losers bracket game, and a double dip. So yeah.
So that's the way it is. If there's 3 of them, it's the number 1 seed is sitting here waiting for these 2 to play in a single game. Winner advances up to play them. Loser bracket down here is 1 game. If they get the championship, they have the double dip.
Correct.
All right, scoot in this way. I want to make, because you're typically behind the scenes, the man behind the curtain, but I don't want you to just.
That's the way we prefer it.
Yeah, I know. He didn't even want to be on camera. That's why I'm making him come in
We
tighter
drug him out here.
on camera.
And we got a three woman race here, and I will take Maggie Geiger. Number 4, out of the running. I'll still take her. She's
For player of the season. For player of the season.
No, I'm just
It's got to be
kidding.
Kelsey and Kim
I
for
love
me.
it.
Roll
I
Tide,
mean, it's-
Alabama.
From what I'm watching, I mean, Kim's been winning all these tournaments. She wins, every single week, and Kennedy she won. That.
Remember, we're just talking about player of the season.
I know.
right
I
now.
know.
Not-
I'm
not-
back to them.
Yeah.
Back to them. But I was just saying, Maggie's my horse, no matter what.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this one who's a UK fan over here just said "Roll Tide." I can't believe it.
Well, I was
Kennedy
just saying that
won,
because I'm
but
just doing it for
Kennedy won
content.
the singles in Nashville or Knoxville, didn't she? She won the singles overall. Kennedy, wasn't that her? They won the singles overall.
No. Are you talking about a couple of years back?
Yeah, like singles, like last year.
Oh yeah.
This season?
No, last year. Remember Clarksville or Knoxville, one of the big ones.
Oh yeah.
Didn't she win overall singles?
I think so. I know. This season, Kim won in Upland, Kelsey won in Fresno.
The last couple I've been at,
Yeah.
Kelsey's been on fire.
Yeah.
She just murdered people.
That's actually a fun statistic, though,
I mean,
that-
she's going to be tough to beat.
We might need to pull that together, though, guys. Over the last 3 years, who out of the women have won the most majors? That would be kind of an interesting
Well,
stat
it's
to
been
look
one of
into.
the fastest growing, if not the fastest growing division that we've got. So
I
it
mean,
would
Maggie's the
make
most
sense.
winning ACO player we've ever had. She just sneaks world championships in here left and right.
Yeah.
She's got co-ed. She's got multiple women's, championships,
That's
and
what
who
I was
knows how many.
McKenna.
It was not. Yeah,
McKenna.
it was not.
McKenna.
That's,
She
yeah,
won.
that's what I was
She
thinking
won.
about.
All right. Well, somebody might want to try to jump outside the letter K because right now it's Kelsey, Kim, and Kennedy, and
Kendall's on the list too.
yeah, Kendall
Kelly.
Cox is working her way down there. But I'll tell you,
You got your senior seat.
yeah, Kelsey, Kim, and Kennedy right now are the leaders in the proverbial clubhouse. In seniors, this one looks like it's already kind of in the bag. But again, these are names that and anybody on here that I know there's one that always makes you laugh.
The one that makes me laugh is Mike Walters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And not for reasons.
And why? And
other
why is
than-
that?
Because a guy that I know is named that. Only it's Walters.
Yeah, and there's no S.
Right.
And it's Michael.
But I'm
so
finna
it's
tell
very,
you.
very close. And it's me, in case you're wondering.
it's him.
He's
It's
not
him.
laughing at you. He's laughing at the fact that he knows for a fact, Mike, that the first tournament I was in, and I want to say the first one where I met him was Bradenton. And his name kept getting called out. And I kept looking around going, what?
Correct, yep.
What? It kept driving me crazy. But Mike Walters is a hell of a player, and he does a lot of traveling with us. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of traveling to do to catch up to Daryl Macon this year. And look at these names. Brian Higginbotham, Johnny Thomas, Mick Hoaxang. It seems, these are names. Scott Harper, Gary Ferguson sneaking his way up into that kind of that top 10 right now. And Philip Barnett, for player of the season in seniors, clocking in at number 10.
Here's my
A little
take
bit of
on
work
player
to
of the
do.
season. I just don't think anybody has time enough to catch them. These are all great players. I think Daryl has, just outplayed the field this year. He's really done a great job making bacon. He's the man. So, but I look at this, and I will tell you, a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, Johnny Thomas had Daryl's number. Johnny was by far the better player than Daryl. And what I love to see is the fact that Daryl has figured out his game. And I'm going to tell you, Daryl, you have the craziest freaking pitch of anybody in cornhole. That's all I'm going to say
got a
right
lot.
now, hands
What's he do?
down. Oh, he's got this hitch thing. And
It's got a lot of
he's
moving
so
parts,
good.
but he really, when he gets into that groove, it's
Hey.
crazy. There's a lot of moving parts.
Doesn't matter how it's done.
It doesn't matter,
Yeah.
and that's a beautiful
Hey,
thing.
Bill Cartwright.
But again,
Yeah.
back to Johnny. Just a quick take on Johnny, though. Johnny has been coming on the last couple months. He's really figured out his groove.
Well,
Look out for Johnny. And
Where was Shreveport, where I said, where
can't catch him, though. There's nobody that
where
can catch
have you
him.
been? Well, that was the thing. It was a little too late in the season. I said, where have you been? He goes, oh, man. He goes, I'm just not doing it, and whatever, and blah, blah, blah. My wife's like, what happened to you? Where'd you go? And then he comes out, and I think he won seniors in that one. But Daryl Macon has become so many other players' kryptonite, including Phil. Phil said, man, he goes, I just can't get past it. I just can't get past it. But again, I want to look, because as we look at these names and rankings, some of the names that how different next year's player of the season could look than this year's player of the season. You see Bob Vaunch is back in here. He was cranking up, his season again. Willie Johns, Rex Urig, Scotty Burridge, Brian Bangert, Mike Worth. There's just some names in here that you got to wonder, if they're able to do kind of what Daryl has done and come in here. What does next year's look like? That's the exciting thing for me in one like this, where it looks like he's got the lock on it, and I believe you're right there. So let's go from seniors then.
Let's go to juniors.
To juniors. You mentioned Isaac Hurt a little while ago. Oddly enough, still a junior, but not
on the list.
Not here in this list for a juniors player of the season. Okay.
So, and the main thing is with Isaac, before you give your 2 cents, I just want to say, giving Isaac a little love here, is he plays in a territory that doesn't have juniors. Regionals.
Okay.
But he has won most, if not all, of the majors that he's played in as a junior. But this kid Chase Hollis is the real freaking deal. I mean, you're going to hear his name. You heard his name down there in Mobile, right?
Yep.
So it looks like Chase is in the running to be.
Yes, he leads the chase for player of the season.
Smiley, tell us what you had to say.
You say he leads the chase?
Yes.
I'm angry about that joke.
Well, because I took it from you.
Okay, so first of all, Bryce Jefferson, I pictured him as a 60-year-old man this entire time. But I've been quoting his name.
I gotta love that.
Bryce is not apparently a 60-year-old man. He's in the juniors.
He walks about the speed of a 60-year-old.
That's fine.
You know?
He's got the same. He's
It
got
was
the
the Y
gait.
that threw me off, right?
No, wait. I got to
worries.
tell you this.
No worries.
Bryce Jefferson probably has the most classic photo in the ACO of all time, maybe other than Jack Staggy when he's airlifted by the whole crew. Is he's wearing this ACO Pro jersey, but it is a white T-shirt with a marker that was written on the back side of it, ACO Pro, and it is such a classic
when
photograph.
it was his goal,
man.
right? It was when it was goal
before he was a pro,
and,
man.
Yeah,
So he made his own shirt.
He
He
made
his own shirt,
and
it
then
was
he
so
made his
good,
way
Bryce.
into
I'm glad he splurged on a Sharpie. That's pretty nice.
into an actual shirt. But I mean,
One of my favorites. man.
here's what I'm going to tell you. Bryce has been lighting it up. He has been on fire everywhere he's gone. But look here at number 2.
Oh, that's what I was just going to say.
Carson Morris.
Carson Morris.
West Coast player, baby.
California.
Car-
That's the first West Coast person I've seen on here so far.
Karsten the younger, because he plays with his father, Karsten the elder. Who
They're both
spells-
Karsten?
Spells it with a C. So that's how I remember
That's not real.
Karsten the younger. But he has really showed up and showed out. And again, I talk about what's it going to look like next year. I would tell you that people from the Midwest and the places where cornhole has been an absolute staple, we're going to start seeing some big shakeups in these lists coming up in the coming season.
Oh, and I mentioned it like a couple minutes ago, maybe, that I talked about the Texas boys, man. The Texas boys are really good.
No question.
They've stepped out there and they've played freaking amazing, man.
Yep, and we'll start to see that show up a lot more too as we continue to increase our footprint in Texas. Another one just in juniors, I want to give a shout out to Wiley Chambers, one of the best mullets in the ACO.
That scores a bunch of points with me.
Big points with you.
Is that our boy?
I'm from Kentucky,
Cowboy hat.
and
Yeah.
mullets are super
Cowboy.
important to me.
He's awesome.
He's got that cowboy hat. We first met him. First we're able to bask in the glory of his Mississippi mud flap.
Wiley Chambers sounds like a guy that should have
He's
a
got
mullet.
it's a beaut.
That's
We got about
that's-
5 or 6. Neil, who we mentioned earlier, has got a beauty. But Wiley's is great. It was South Bend, I think, where we first got a load of his. And then there was a kid there who had and I forget his name off the top of my head. I've got it here somewhere.
He goes from one end of the court to the other.
Oh yeah, he does. He does.
Walks, man.
He looks like he's been
He
riding.
probably
barrels.
weighs 120 pounds.
The
though.
Camaro
He's a
cut.
skinny
He's
little
got the
dude.
Camaro cut.
Yeah, he's been
The
riding barrels.
Kentucky waterfall. I love it.
He's awesome. He's a good shooter.
Let me find. I know I had a list of the names of. Oh, it was Micah, the little guy, mullet boy.
You have
Micah.
a mullet tab on your Excel
I
spreadsheet.
know
That's
we did.
crazy.
Micah, Adam, Neil, and Wiley, and then we added Chris Truitt from Sarah, Mississippi. He's also in the club as well. I believe he had the guitar, the electric guitar earring too.
right.
So
How
anyway,
many you have
but
now? How many you have?
I think we got 5.
So what we need to do is we need to make sure we have a special page in the whole magazine just for the mullet guys, man. I mean, that's going to be good.
I would like this to ultimately be a gatefold, centerfold of mullets.
Well, what I want
So-
is
Calendars.
I
We need
want
12.
you at the top of it, leading the charge with the old school Finn photo,
But that wasn't a mullet.
Well, yes, it was. Basically.
I feel like it was a little bit. I'm sorry, but you might not have called it that.
It wasn't.
We called it a
That's what
mullet.
it was.
It was down to here in the front.
And it was the mullet.
If you comb it backwards, and
Only
hat
because
on-
you brought it forward, though.
Right. If you comb it backwards,
It's fine. If
You
don't
were
wanna-
the Godfather. It's going to be a tree from thin, and these guys all just cycle down from
it's
you,
still
man.
the best.
I would not even. I wouldn't insult them by claiming that mine was a mullet because they have taken the time to cultivate and been fearless in that cultivation. It's not. I would pull it all back through my hat, so it was called girls softball hair, but it wasn't. It wasn't a mullet.
Yeah.
It was at one point. It was in my.
Dude, he had his hair like that for a week and got 3 D1 offers to play softball.
Shut up.
Okay.
Let's go into blind
Now
draw.
it was.
Move on.
Now it was a mullet. I will tell you the best part. The one picture I do have of it being a mullet was in my engagement photo, and nothing makes me happier than that.
Right. I bet that was a good
Move
time.
on to the blind draw. Let's go to the blind draw because we still
Party
have
in the front and misery in the
co-ed
back.
and the world doubles. Let's go on the blind draw.
Blind
Stick
draw,
it
they
in the
still
back.
get points at the World, so that one's it's still up.
It's still up in the air.
Yeah, it depends on how well these top 10 players, how well they draw at the Worlds and how well they do at the Worlds. I mean, those points accumulate at the Worlds too, so it's a tough one there.
So I'm going to call a timeout Wayne's World style.
All right.
Explain blind draw to me. It seems pretty obvious, but please explain it to me.
Yep. Get two players split in two. Boom. And you randomly draw a player from the other side.
Is it co-ed? Can it be man, girl, boy, everything?
Yep. Anyone who enters. So
Okay.
anyone can enter. And then, but you're only accumulating points on the singles rankings by yourself.
So you're accumulating individual points.
So,
Okay.
So how good you draw? I mean, there's no way.
So
around it.
so I see that Russell Tabers and Kim Dice are at the top.
Yeah.
That means that they've played well and they've had good partners. Correct?
Correct.
Is that what that
Or
means?
They just played really well and had
and just carried their
okay
partner.
players and
Okay.
whatever. They're both
Perfect.
top pro players, so
Right.
they can. They're very capable of doing. All these players are.
And they're
I mean,
still
you have
racking
to
stats.
go-
They're still racking
when you look at
stats.
this, they're pretty solid
And the
players.
thing is,
all
when
around.
you go to ACO blind draw like that, where you're gathering points at a major. I mean, everyone in the field can play. You know what I mean?
So the one thing that stands out to me, boys, on this sheet of the blind draw for the ACO is I see Eric Hoppajan's there, and so he just maxed out, the second player to max out in Monster Cornhole.
Did he?
Yeah, this week.
Yeah, we didn't give you a monster update earlier, did we?
But that is your monster update. We now
I've
have
seen
two
this.
people
I've seen
that
this
have
online.
maxed out.
I've seen this
in
on the old
Monster,
socials.
So exciting stuff there. But yeah, this is anyone's game right here, but it is cool to see. And Russell Tabers, dude, I mean, he's been with us for so long.
Kentucky.
He's such a solid cornhole player. Through and through, he's just consistent. I mean, he's a consistent.
He's a cornhole
He's been
advocate.
right here at the top of. He's been player of the season of
Yeah.
blind draw before, hasn't he?
I believe so. I'm not a positive of that. I mean,
I will correct myself for those who are listening to my formats very carefully. The lists are not split into two and then matched
just-
like
yeah,
that.
just
It's just taking one group and just
It's a
and
literally
rolling
a
one and
blind-
two.
software.
Just a blind
software
draw.
grabs two of them.
So the software does it? Good.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So as we go through that, let's
Let's go
move
to co-ed.
to.
Let's go to co-ed. We'll finish on the
Finish
world
on
doubles.
the world doubles.
All right. Let's go. Where the hell is my co-ed sheet?
Right there. It's the last one. If you don't have one, right there it is.
Oh.
I like this one too, man. I love it because it's a new team at the top.
welcome.
I love this, dude.
Yeah, and these two, it's almost like as soon as you've seen on the back half of the season, as soon as you have seen them on the schedule, like, all right, well they got it. But now what? Let's go to the next one. Brandon Lacewell and Lisa Hill have been on fire, and I would tell you, Lisa Hill, Brandon Lacewell, we knew Lisa Hill, her game is really
Really
taken
stepped
off.
up. I'm agreeing with you, Finn. I don't disagree with that one at all, man. And that's why, I mean, shoot. Yeah, who knows?
Well, and I know for a long time, Craig and Ashley Irvin were in the running for co-ed players of the season. Now, is that, talk to me about, because as you look down, and you got Dustin Arant and Taylor Owens, Craig and Ashley, Martina and Russell. There's Russell again. Russell's the absolute best partner you could ever ask to have
It sounds like he's a pretty solid choice.
as a partner. And whenever he and Martina are in there, they're always in the top three, if not winning. Chad and Kim Dice, Chad Jackson and Kim Jackson, they've really gotten to become a very good, solid team together. But Brandon and Lisa are really showing out.
For some reason, I really thought originally that the best co-ed team was Russell Tabers and Craig Irvin, but then I realized that was not a co-ed team.
Then
It's not. It could be, but it's not this time.
that's a whole other division that has yet to be played.
No, but
fine.
seriously, Martina is a badass female player, right? And Russell's as we talked a minute ago in the luck of the draw.
Well, they
type
need
of thing.
one more major to max
But
out. Is that
talk
right?
about Chad and Kim too,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
they're
Chad.
they're right there. I mean, they are so much in the hunt here. It's going to be crazy because they just have to get, I think, one more major win, if I'm not mistaken.
Russell and Martina need one more major win.
Yeah, well, it's so funny because
I came up with that myself. No one commented that.
Your ass. Kim
They did.
clearly is. I mean, I for some reason on Chad and Kim's excellent cornhole adventure, I just picture a vehicle with 6 rear view mirrors, and they're just seeing who's chasing me, who's behind me, who's behind me. She knows whatever, but she knows what everybody needs better than I do. What everybody needs, and maybe better than they do. But I guarantee you, Russell and Martina know what needs to be done there. But Brandon Lacewell and Lisa Hill, they are the front runners going into Player of the Season.
Well, here's what I'm doing. I honestly, I want to see somebody, meaning number 2, number 3, number 4, catch up with
you wanna see a
Brandon.
playoff?
I want to see a playoff. And I hope that Lisa and Brandon win the playoff, but I want to see a playoff. I want to see a playoff at the Worlds, man. So come
you
on,
heard
Chad
that.
and Kim. Come on, Russell.
He wants to see a
Martina,
playoff.
let's
he
go.
wants to see a playoff.
Let's make it
I'm
happen.
going with the odds right now because the last few times we've been in a tournament, we've seen Lisa and Brandon roll it.
Yeah.
The last couple that we've been to. And the other ones still have work to do to even get in that game. So
Just to
I
get
gotta,
there,
I gotta
yeah.
All right,
play,
so
I'm
guys,
playing
here's-
the odds. I'm playing the odds.
Well, here's the odds. So the odds are so I don't know if Lisa and Brandon are going to show up at the next three majors.
Doesn't
So
matter.
some-
They're next.
No, it does matter because they can keep everybody from winning. If they were to win those, they could play those people down. So there's a strategy
Okay,
there to
there
say,
is.
hey, they can win this thing by just
Let's
playing
just go
everybody else
lock it.
down.
Lock it down.
I'm going to take it so no one else can have it, sort of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly. So
Sort of like you were with the beers.
Yeah, that's why I drank all of them.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Appreciate
all right,
it.
well,
what
good
I'm
luck
good
to all
at.
the
That's what I'm
co-ed
good
winners.
at.
Let's move on to the doubles here.
All right, so doubles. This one for a number of years has just seemed like a lock. They're coming off, aren't they, a three-peat? I mean, as champions, but also players of the season.
Caleb and Isaac.
Caleb and Isaac has the
Are they
Hurt
a
Locker.
three-peat for the Worlds?
They're a three-peat for the World doubles.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And player.
and team of the
So
season.
three-peat for Player of the Season and three-peat for the Worlds. Is that right?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
We don't know
And
this.
one-
We don't know
and-
this. We should know this, but we
Yeah,
don't know for
we
sure.
don't
But
know
my
off the top of
question
our head.
is:
Oh, wait a minute.
Is there
No.
anybody? Is there anybody else in any sport that has ever won 4 titles back to back to back to back? Is there any other sport? Soccer, football, golf, hockey, anybody?
The only thing I can think of is UCLA basketball in like the 60s.
Yeah,
But
under John Wooden.
60s and 70s, but they had Kareem and Bill Walton, so I don't know that. Yeah, but other than that, I can't think of anything. And that's the thing with this sport. It's when you see the people's names that are consistently at the top, you know that they're putting in the work, and they're showing up, and they're playing, and they're doing what they do.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, so when you say that nobody can catch this person because they haven't played enough, like, it's pretty obvious. It's pretty obvious who's playing a lot and who's playing at a high level when you look at these lists.
Right.
All right, so Caleb and Isaac won season 19. Caleb and Isaac won season 18. Caleb and Isaac won season 17 Worlds.
So we're going for 4.
We're going for 4. This is
They're going for 4.
unprecedented. I mean, this is pretty huge, man.
And it was Easy and Tanner in World 16.
Vegas. Is that in Vegas?
No, this was Vegas, wasn't it? 14? Wasn't that 14?
Easy and Tanner. When did they?
That was 16.
I want to know if Karsten has a child,
14 was
how he's going to spell it.
Windsor.
With a Q.
With a Q. It's going to be Quarsten.
Yes.
Quarston.
Karsten.
So this just in. Kim is saying that they only need to win one more regional. So this is awesome. So there's a very good chance that we're going to see
That's
Kim
awesome.
and Chad in that
even need to
playoff
major.
match. I love it.
Also have made loads of things for Chad Jackson and Kim Dice.
Yes, you have.
Yes, I have.
Yes, you have.
For sure.
You've made a lot of wood for them.
I have absolutely done that. And I'm just going to leave that right there.
Yeah, if you would, that'd
where
be
you
nice.
left it.
Now, that said, Colby Baskins and Zach Dawson, they're just in under the wire this past weekend. in Mobile maxed out. So that's maxed out majors, right?
Yeah, so we got two. We got two in a doubles,
And
man.
they've beat Caleb and Isaac head-to-head.
Oh, yeah.
like once or
Yeah.
twice this year, right?
I think they have. Yes, they have. So this is, and then we talked about the aforementioned Daryl Macon and Johnny Thomas as partners in doubles. You got Harcrow and Parker. You can't count them out. They've been sneaky this season. You don't see them everywhere. You'd see Parker more than Harcrow, but Harcrow is kind of like a little assassin. He kind of rolls in late, gets the job done, and then
man.
He's an
I
enigma.
like Harcrow's doing his thing right now.
yes, wrapped in a puzzle.
So here's an interesting thing, though. Looking at the two teams right now, 1 and 2, and understanding SPR a little bit, but not completely. I mean, there's a significant difference right now between 1 and 2 in Team SPR. It's almost a 4-point differential, which is pretty large. I mean, honestly. So we'll see. I mean, it's going to be fun to see if those guys in the championship match, Colby and Zach can do their thing.
Yeah, well, the exciting thing for me is, as we just went back and revisited results, and we're going to get into it 2 weeks from tonight, the World Championships. We're going to talk about the schedule release. We're going to talk about predictions as to who's going to do what, where, and when. We've mentioned to you different family situations changing. How will that affect people's concentration rolling in to the back end as we head to Tulsa for the Worlds? There's a lot of things still up in the air. This could be Season 20's Worlds, could be the most exciting and unexpected World Championships we've ever had. And I firmly believe that. And as I look down this, it really gets me excited for Season 21 as well. And that's awesome. I love it.
Let's do it, baby.
All right, so
Next time we're going to have Larry in the house. What's his name again?
Michael.
Michael.
It should be
Okay.
easy to remember.
Larry, for sure. Yeah, for sure. My name's Larry.
Well, the bottom line is we hope that you've enjoyed the discussion. Maybe you've agreed, maybe you've disagreed. Kim, thank you for being our official statistician as to
Yeah,
who's
it's almost
where.
like closed captioning.
and
Kim was
when.
coming in hot with the facts. I like that.
And if Chad, if that was you, I apologize, and I don't
it was
believe
probably Kim.
It was Kim. So anyway, Bags and Drones, thanks, guys. You guys are awesome. Nathan Menifee says, yo, howdy, what's up? Chad and Kim said, hope Karsten gets his last win so he can be in that playoff. Jeremy Jones talks about the
chicken wing.
No, that's the
throw?
Daryl Macon
Is that the
throw.
throw? Is that
Well,
the
that's the
throw?
thing we've talked
That's
about.
the Daryl Macon throw.
I say it all the time. You walk into the room, 500 people, 500 different ways to get the bag to the board. I don't know how some of them do it. Some look like they should be strapped to a board because they're having a seizure. But it gets done, and it gets done at a high level. It's awesome to watch. And
Find what works. Find what works.
That's right. And you want to talk about what's going to be awesome to watch, some of these playoffs and this final home stretch. 3 majors left this weekend in Chicago, then Camp Margaritaville, and then Branson. We wrap up with the Pro Series Skins. That's going to be a huge final weekend. It all is in service to the World Championships in Tulsa, Oklahoma toward the end of July. So feel free to make your own suggestions, make your own guesses or whatever, or educated guesses in the comments as you go back and revisit this. If there's anything about it you'd like to revisit, feel free to do so. This was kind of fun. I like this roundtable idea.
It's going to get harder, though.
It is going to
The
get
next
harder.
time around, we got our own opinions on a lot of players on these lists and players outside of this
And the dark horse list.
And the dark horse list. So it's going
Ooh,
to...
there's a dark horse.
The next
Yes.
time we get together is going to be sweet.
Now, there are a couple of things, too. Last year at the Worlds, if you remember, we did the announcers draft. We had kind of a fantasy draft.
That's what I thought I was coming to tonight, actually.
well,
yeah, but it wasn't at
No.
all.
No.
Come to Tulsa for the next one. Now, I forget who it was that won the announcers fantasy draft. Who was that won the announcers fantasy draft? Oh, yeah, I remember now. So I do have one other question. Something was announced
Did
today.
Finn win something?
I might have.
He actually won
Don't
something.
be rumbling and grumbling over there. You were just as happy as I was. And the prize money, huge. Something else was announced about a couple of hours ago. Do you want to get into that at all? With regard to, we were
I don't think he knows what. I don't think he knows what it
You
is.
got to remind me.
You were
what it was.
looking
think
at
he
it and
knows
go,
what it is.
hey,
He
it
doesn't
just
know.
got announced. This is
It's
going to be a
it's
game changer.
Oh,
This is
yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
a
yeah,
game
yeah,
changer.
yeah,
Do you
yeah.
want to talk about that?
Now let's talk about it next week.
You sure?
He's
Now
got
let's
some
talk about
talking
it.
points for
You
next
don't want
week.
to. You don't want to even.
Should we
talk about it now?
Should we hit at it?
Talk about it now.
Don't you
No,
want,
no, next week.
you
Next
don't want to
week.
mention. You don't even want to mention it.
No, but if you're a CO with the ACO, check out tomorrow because this guy's got some cool stuff to report tomorrow. So,
Yes.
certified officials,
Check
check
out the
in
page.
tomorrow.
check out the page. It is literally a game changer. And so is all this. Looking forward to those Player of the Season playoffs that we're going to have. Anybody that wins one outright, you had your work cut out for it, and you got her done. Cookbook is still out and about. Go get yourself one and make 2 or 3 items out of there and let us know how they are. Film it if you want to, and we'll run it here on the taco. But that said, our first ever taco roundtable with the man behind the hardwood that is you're taking home, whether it's a Road Dog Award or one of those awesome barrelheads. This is the guy making
Give
it
me
happen.
some new names. I want some new names.
He wants to see some new names. And new
I want some
names.
new people to make stuff for.
The man behind the curtain right there. Any final thoughts?
Nope, good.
Eric's good.
It's winding down, and we're end of another good season.
Didn't want to be out here to begin with, so
No.
he'll be happy to go back there and turn everything off when we're done.
Correct.
Philip, thank you very much for the picks. The Mississippi Ninja always comes through. Whole Nation, thank you for that shot of the week. I am Finn, the loudmouth for the ACO. He is Frank Geers, the Cornhole Dude, on behalf of Michael and of Eric Heinerman, reminding you, as always,
Keep on picking.
what? Oh, I see what you did there. We're picking. Now this is going to be awkward because until he turns it
Hey,
off.
you can just keep on picking because it's not over.
Hey, he needs to hit pause. Freeze frame. Freeze frame. I go like this. I do backspin because I'm terrible.
Better hold that pose. All right.